So I can't wait to share today. It's really exciting. We often have this problem in the real world where we're trying to join up and marry together a developer or ETL data pipeline person with a business analyst. And we need that transparency across what we're doing on the tech side. We need that flexibility on the tech side to be able to write the code we want, to call into the APIs we want, to use the right libraries. But the analyst needs to know what we're doing. They need to help us complete the feedback loop and oftentimes contribute to that local knowledge. So let's get me out of the way here and jump over to our favorite Databricks notebook and click run. What I'm going to do here is use standard vanilla Spark to connect to a database and pull in a data frame. I'm going to call that a JDBC data frame and then run some of my favorite commands that show the table and the schema, and we can clearly see that we have New York Stock Exchange stock data here. The next thing that I might want to do is register this in OWL. So I'm going to click run. Here I see it show up on the dashboard, but I'm also going to go over to the catalog and just make sure that now I have a log of everything I'm doing. I see OWL test New York Stock Exchange 1, and it's in draft mode, which is great. I'm going to publish this later, but it knows that it's a data frame and it's going to keep a nice catalog of everything I'm working on. So if I drill into that and run this line called profile, then what I see is in one line, I can generate a profile across this data set. That's going to give me a quality bar for how many nulls, how many empties, how complete the data is, all of the standard stats about cardinality and distributions. And if I drill in, I'll see the top end distribution, histograms, box plots. I can see Berkshire Hathaway trading up over $300,000 a share, while the median price per share is $25 on the New York Stock Exchange. I can see histograms broken down in this section across all data points, correlation matrix that's measuring the strength of a relationship between all the column and values and then qualifying that for me in English language. A deep and rich data preview also highlighting some interesting shape issues that I want to look into later. But really, the part that gets even more interesting is to think about an insight layer on top of your daily operational pipelines. Something like duplicates could be something of concern. Now, we know over 30 days of stock data, we're going to have duplicate symbols, but we should only have one per day. So if I were to kick this off and run some duplicate detection, what you'll notice is about the data frame API that's so intriguing is you don't have to know our domain objects. You don't have to know anything about out. You get a data frame out every time. So that means you can run all your favorite and standard operations on it. And if you see here, I even ran a simple line before I ran dupes that takes a slice of time out and says, what about this day? Let me just measure that. So if I jump over to the Hoot page, I can see that a dupe record did show up. It's the same one that was returned to me in my data frame. Now that allows me to write if-else conditions and do things like, should I move left or right in the code? Maybe I shouldn't move forward at all because clearly there's a repeated or duplicate record. And I can see that that's here. So I could annotate this, I could take action on it, I can remediate it through down training. And these are things I wouldn't have to write rules for in OWL because it would automatically be learning from the analyst feedback. And it keeps these connected along the way. The next thing I might want to do is kick off outlier analysis. So numericals, categoricals, and once again, get that famous data frame back that's so easy to work with and use that as my standard interface across every file, every table, every Kafka message, and everything in Delta Lake, right? That would be a nice standard protocol to finally unify this program around. And while that's running, I can see that outliers are appearing, the same ones that would be in this table over here on the left, but a little bit of a richer display for these. So I can drill in and see that while historically Kodak moves about 5 cents a day in its price and has about that much variance, it jumped up to $12 a share here out of the blue, and it's a statistical outlier. Maybe not a data quality issue in that case, but absolutely an interesting observation. Although here we can see that this stock is actually flagged as the NASDAQ, and this is New York Stock Exchange data. So that categorical outlier is absolutely a data quality issue. I hope you enjoyed it today. This is a great way to merge a developer ETL pipeline problem with a famous analyst dashboard problem.